explanation. Since Naruto had went all out fighting Sasuke Uchiha, his brother and friend in arms, Naruto was pretty happy that he had managed to capture Sasuke Uchiha and not let him escape into the clutches of Orochimaru, the Snake Sanin. So Naruto was pretty happy about that. But Kakashi comes out of nowhere and sees Sasuke Uchiha on Naruto's shoulder bleeding. Kakashi sees red immediately. Since he always hated Naruto internally, he never liked the brat since, he was the only one to become, Minato Sensei's son. He wanted that role. He wanted to be an Amikaze himself. But, sadly he couldn't since, he was a Hatake. So Kakashi, deeply had a deep hatred for Naruto due to that reason, but never actually showed it. But seeing what Naruto had done to Sasuke, it made Kakashi's blood boil. But what he didn't know that was Naruto's blood. So, Kakashi blitzes over to Naruto, grabbing Sasuke, kicking Naruto, making the kid grunt. Kakashi sensei, why? I never liked you, brat. No one else does. In fact, I'll be doing the Leaf a favor if I took you out, said Kakashi with a smile on his face as he walks over to Naruto and decapitates one of Naruto's arms. Let's see how you're gonna survive. He also proceeds to pluck out one of Naruto's eyes as he tosses him into the river, where the waterfall of the Valley of the End floats. Naruto plunges deep into the waters as he begins to get carried away by the waves, as he is taken to God knows where. Kakashi immediately takes Sasuke and rushes back to the leaf at lightning speed. Once arriving to where Tsunade is standing, she sees Kakashi turning with a Sasuke over his shoulder. Tsunade raises an eyebrow and asks, "Where's Naruto?" Kakashi looks at Tsunade and gives her an eye smile. "I've taken care of the brat." Tsunade then smiles as she then looks over to Sakura and at the other teammates. "Very well, bring them so that I may heal them." In fact, Tsunade was actually in on this plot to get rid of Naruto since, he was becoming more of a liability for her. So she decided, to get rid of him. And also mentioning to the fact that, Tsunade treated Kushina like a sister and which Naruto's birth took her away. Jiraiya also hated Naruto. The only reason he gave him the scroll for the tools was so that he could, reverse summon Naruto in case he ever went rogue. But, seeing as Naruto, was now taken care of, Naruto's name was erased off the Toad Scroll, which, was pretty sad. So, we now see our protagonists, Naruto Uzumaki, as he's floating in the river. He manages to struggle to shore as he arrives on a shore. He had been floating for God knows how long. The Kyuubi's chakra had, charred the wound since, Naruto could no longer use his left hand. So pretty much it was now just a stump. Naruto is now on a beach of an unknown place. Naruto stays stagnant with no movement. There's a red glow which comes out of his stomach, which spreads over the boy immediately, forcing the seawater out of his mouth. Where am I? Naruto looks around. He checks himself to see that the injuries have been healed. He looks at his arm, reminiscing about everything that Kakashi had done to him. Damn you, Kakashi, for cutting my arm off, Naruto says, with an immense hatred growing inside of him. A hatred so strong, it would even crumple the world if it was left unchecked. Naruto proceeds to stand up with the help of his right arm as he begins to walk on this new place. Where the hell am I? Naruto looks over the Konoha headband as he takes it off his forehead and tosses it into the sea, never wanting to see it again. I'll come back and get my revenge. Naruto continues to walk in this place. As he continues to walk, wow, this place is densely populated with trees. Naruto then arrives as he sees a gate. This gate has a swirl on it, a whirlpool. Wait, isn't this the same whirlpool is the same as my clothes. But how is this possible? Naruto says, as he pushes the gate open. What he sees horrifies him. He sees skeletons on the ground. Skeletons of what used to be people. What is this place? Naruto says as he continues to walk, avoiding the bones of the skeletons. He sees a building in the center of this place, which looks to like the Kage Tower in Konoha. Naruto walks inside. As he goes up to the main room, where he finds a large desk with a book on it. Naruto goes over to where the book is, as he opens it. He feels a prick on his hands and sees that, a bit of his blood had left him and was absorbed by the book. Words begin to appear on the pages of the book. To any Uzumaki who is reading this, thankfully, it is good to know that some of us have survived this tragedy which has befallen us. Our allies, which we thought were our allies, betrayed us. They sabotaged our sails and allowed the other three nations to invade and take us over. Naruto read this. Allies were these people. We of the Uzumaki clan have been decimated. We've been forced to scatter our own in the surrounding nations due to having no choice on what to do. We had been cornered. We had no choice in this. There's nothing we could do. The book continues to read. What the hell? Uzumaki clan. Wait. Does this mean I had a clan? Naruto says, as he continues to read deeper, understanding the words of wisdom left by the former Uzukage. By extension, he also learns that one Uzumaki was sent to the Leaf Village to become the Ninth House Jinchuriki, and Naruto begins to piece things together from there and discovers that person might have been his mother, since he has the last name Uzumaki, and there was only one Uzumaki ever sent to the Leaf Village. Naruto, feels a sprout of anger. How could, the third Hokage, his grandfather, the man he trusted with everything, betray him like this? Naruto vowed for revenge. He vowed to crush that place which took everything away from him. Naruto then continues to read the book. For any Uzumaki who have survived and have managed to come back, and if you're able to read this book, it means you're of royal lineage. Behind my bookshelf, you may push it open, there's a seal. That seal will lead you to an entrance. That entrance is a library full of wisdom. All the accumulated wealth and all the knowledge of the Uzumaki clan lies within that library. Do what you must for the glory of all Uzumakis. Have a revenge. Take revenge. And always remember, Uzumaki care for their own. So if you find any other Uzumaki, carry them, be with them, for they are your family. Those were the last words written in the book. Naruto then heads over to the bookshelf as he slides it over and sees a seal on it. He bites his thumb and rubs the blood on it. The seal begins to glow as, some space-time seals activate. Naruto is then swallowed by a suction force which pulls him into as the bookshelf moves itself back to the place it was. Naruto then finds himself in a library. What the hell is this place? Naruto looks around to see dozens and dozens of scrolls, tons of knowledge. Wow, so many books. If I train here, I can become strong. And I'll have my revenge, Naruto says, as the glint, shines in his eyes. Naruto then explores this library and finds out that, there's a place where he could train, a place for him to sleep, the food, was endless, he could continue eating since, he liked ramen, he, could eat ramen all he wanted. So very much all the basic needs he ever wanted were taken care of. Meanwhile, back to the Leaf. The Leaf had been celebrating, the return of the Uchiha pretty much, to Sasuke's great irritation, but, he couldn't do shit about it since, he'd been captured. And, Kakashi had offered to train him along with Jiraiya for 3 years, which, Sasuke was pretty happy about that. Okay. Orochimaru wasn't worth it anyway, since, Jiraiya had now sealed off the mark completely, rendering, its, whispers of power and everything immobile, which angered Orochimaru greatly, but, he didn't do anything. But back to the Leaf Village. The Leaf Village had been celebrating for A week, they were happy. The demon was gone. Pretty much, they could do everything they wanted. To which, some people were pretty angry, and people like Gara, and some others, Naruto's allies, which he had gathered over the time, Wave and the rest, they were pretty pissed with Konoha and sent letters, demanding to know the reasons why Konoha had been doing this. But to which Konoha vaguely responded, that Naruto was a demon, yada yada yada, which angered the other people greatly. So it in turn forced them to cut off all trade agreements, all military alliances, everything which Naruto had done for Konoha was essentially cut off right there and then, which left Konoha in a very bad position, since without allies they couldn't thrive or do anything, which was pretty bad. But yeah, Konoha had pretty much fucked itself in the beat right there. But continuing on with the story, we go back to Naruto. Naruto had been reading a scroll. He learned the shadow clone jutsu from the scroll. He already knew the shadow clone, but he dreaded just out of curiosity, and found out he could make a batch of clones, which could in turn help him master techniques. So Naruto knew that he did endless chakra reverse. So he then said multi shadow clone jutsu, summoning around 200 clones and telling them to go to assigned places. 50 were to do chakra control exercises to get his large amount of chakra under smooth control. Naruto also allocated another 25 clones, to read over the shit he didn't know. He pretty much Naruto knew that he'd been sabotaged his entire life, and he needed to catch up on things he missed, etiquette and all that stuff. He pretty much needed to learn everything. So the rest of the clones were instructed to read the scrolls and master jutsus, pretty much, which had to do with his affinity. Naruto then continued to research, pretty much, finding out some nifty information. He also found out that during the Second Great Shinobi War, one of the Uzumakis, they managed to kill off an Uchiha and took one of his eyes, pretty much. And the Uzumaki experimented on the eye, and done some breast test on it, and it had evolved into the Renegon, pretty much. So as you can see from the picture, Naruto's one red eye. Just think of it as a Renegon, since your boy was just too lazy to find a picture which could pretty much do that. But yeah, in the next video probably. But Naruto didn't know anything about medical ninjutsu, so he couldn't put this eye into himself. So he allocated some clones to read on medical ninjutsu, so he could know how to do the process and eventually implant the eye into himself. Naruto continued to read the scrolls and came across a scroll on chakra chains, which he knew that he said, "Oh, I could manifest chains." As Naruto tried it and was able to only manifest one chain, but that was just the beginning. So I'm gonna time skip this pretty much, since I don't wanna bore you guys with shit which is not helpful anyway. So continuing on with the story. 3 years time skip. Naruto is 16 at this point, and currently he's just exercising, doing some light push-ups and sit-ups and squats, with his well-toned body. He has an 8-pack. His body is godly defined, like it has been chiseled by Jesus himself, and he's looking pretty handsome. His blonde hair reaches his back, pretty much. It's that big, since Naruto had kept it long. Naruto had 3 clones which were busy sealing up all the scrolls, which were in the Uzumaki library. They'd been sealing up everything. Naruto had also come up upon the great Uzumaki clan fortune. The fortune was stored in a scroll which had tons of Ryu, jewels, diamonds, material, everything which was regarded as Uzumaki wealth was stored in that scroll. After Naruto finished out emptying out the place, pretty much, he took a scroll, was in a space-time containment seal, as he sealed away the whole library, which was in an own dimension run by seals. Naruto then got out, as he looked through his right eye, which was now the Renegon. Naruto had been practicing how to use this eye pretty much, and he pretty much mastered it to the fullest degree. He could use the almighty push, the universal pull. He could summon creatures. He could do essentially all the shit Pain could do, but with the more buffed version, since Naruto had more chakra and vitality. So We then checked the the left stump, which Naruto now had a metal arm on it. Since spending all the time down there, he eventually discovered that it was pointless for him to just have one arm, so he crafted himself another arm. By blacksmithing it for himself. Since there was a facility for him to do that, Naruto put on a coat over himself as he then walked out. Currently with another organization. This organization, you all know it, the Akatsuki. They had assembled, and Pain was sitting on the fingers, just casually looking at the members. It's been 3 years. It's time for us to begin our goals. Capture the Jinchuriki. So Itachi, Kizume, you are to capture the Seven Tails. Deidara and Sasori, you are to go and capture the One Tails from the sand. So Pain allocated all the Akatsuki members some tailed beasts to capture. He himself, is also going to capture a few tailed beasts. Then Pain looked at Black Zetsu. Zetsu, have you found him yet? No, Pain Sama. It seems that the Nine Tails, Jinchuriki is lost. We will have to wait a few more years until the Nine Tails reforms. Damn those Konoha brats. Pain thought to himself, even Obito cursed them for for killing the Jinchuriki, which put a stop in their plans. But they had to capture the others first, and see what to do about the cube later. So with all the Akatsuki out hunting for tailed beasts, Naruto eventually exited the library. Pretty much, he proceeded to create 500 clones, which took the bodies of all the Uzumaki members and buried them properly. Since United had no intention of bringing them back, since it would be a bad omen anyway to bring back the dead, he could only take revenge for them and start his clan. So Naruto goes over and creates a barrier around the whole Uzumaki island, as well as the genjutsu which makes it invisible so no one can see it. He then runs on the water, heading back to the elemental nation, since we all know that Uzi was an island on its own self. So Naruto rushes back into the elemental islands, appearing on Wave Country. Wave Country, is currently at a war with Konoha, pretty much, since the daimyo really desperately wanted those sea routes, and by having all of the alliances cut, which mentioned the daimyo was losing money, which was pretty much cross about. But the daimyos have continued to support the Shinobi village anyway. So Konoha was currently at war with Wave. Kumo and Iwa declared war on Konoha, since with the loss of the Jinchuriki, they thought that Konoha was weak, so they were pretty much fighting with Konoha at this point. So guys, I'm gonna leave off the story here, and post other parts. Give me like 5 likes for the next part. And I'm also gonna be posting what not was the Demon Lord or Demon Prince. I'm not sure what title yet, but it's coming out soon. Continue to like and subscribe to the family. And you guys, hope you enjoy my content. You guys should also comment on the videos, since I'm back on the grind. And don't forget to share to your other friends. Tell them that Yaiko is back. So see you guys.